Ready to unlock the magic of AI with a sprinkle of fun? Welcome to Google Gemini 1.5 Pro, which is Google's groundbreaking AI platform. Imagine having a super smart assistant at your fingertips. That's what Google Gemini 1.5 Pro is. We will start by exploring what makes Google Gemini 1.5 Pro tick, from its awesome features to its different versions. We will walk through Google AI Studio interface. Then we will jump into action setting up your account and mastering the interface. But wait, there is more. We will also integrate Python to supercharge your AI projects and even build a chatbot. Plus, we will see how Google Gemini 1.5 Pro stacks up against the giants like GPT 4o and 4o Mini. Get ready for a roller coaster ride of learning and fun. Let's dive into the world of Google Gemini 1.5 Pro together. Google Gemini is a next-generation artificial intelligence model developed by Google. It's part of Google's broader AI strategy, representing a significant advancement in the field of machine learning and natural language processing. Gemini is designed to power a wide range of applications, from conversational AI to more complex data analysis tasks. Now, let's quickly explore what's in Google Gemini 1.5 Pro. Now, let's see agenda for this section. First, we will understand various versions of Google Gemini. Then, we will understand what is Google AI Studio, its interface, and execute few of the prompts. Later, we will explore what is the integration between Python and Google Gemini 1.5 Pro. Then, we will also include a demonstration having a simple chatbot. Then, at last, we will compare three different platforms. The first one, Google Gemini 1.5 Pro and GPT 4o, then 4o Mini, right? Why wait? Let's quickly start with the first topic, versions of Gemini. In Gemini, we have different versions broadly classified into three elements. The first one is Flash, then followed by Nano, and then Ultra or Pro. Let's see what are these classifications mean to us. First, when it comes to Flash, it was developed in order to execute the queries or the prompts in a very quicker way. If you go to Nano, why this was a variation? In order to execute or use Google Gemini in a smaller devices like phones or tabs, Nano version was discovered. Then we have Ultra and Pro. When you come to this version, it is having capability to execute biggest prompts and also give you a good detailed analysis according to your requirement compared to Nano and Flash. Generally, you could see Nano has a very limited number of tokens compared to Flash and Ultra Pro. So this is the variations in broad you can have in Google Gemini. Then let's explore versions one by one. You could see Gemini started with version 1, aka Bard. They launched a product called Bard in September 2023 with the tokens of 1 million. It was generally used in order to have initial conversation, AI model, and also text generation. It was specifically given by the Google as a product as a competition to OpenAI, that is ChatGPT. The applications of Gemini 1 is just to have a conversation with a chatbot and also basic content generation. Then it also served a general purpose AI tasks as well. After Gemini 1, that is Bard, we got Gemini Advanced. Again, it is Bard Plus. It was in late 2023 after September. It was also having tokens of 1 million and enhanced performance compared to Gemini 1. And also more refined responses for this was available. Improvised chatbots and more complex content creation could be handled in Gemini Advanced, that is Bard Plus. After all these, as I mentioned, we got the broad classification, that is Nano, Pro, and then Ultra. So let's understand what is Gemini Nano 1.0. So it was in the early 2024, it was released, but the tokens, if you could see, it has 500,000, meaning it is having a less number of tokens comparatively to other versions. Why? The reason because it is generally used as a lightweight model. It is on the devices like mobiles or IoT devices, you could execute or use Gemini Nano 1.0. Generally, the applications are, if you could see, it's in mobile apps, IoT devices, and embedded AI. It was specifically designed in order to work as a lightweight model. Then comes Gemini Pro 1.0, again in early 2024, having 2 million tokens. It was used for professional grade of artificial intelligence and also multimodal capabilities. In generally, this application was only preferred towards professional content creation and advanced research. So this is the application of Gemini Pro 1.0. Now let's go to the next one. Gemini Ultra 1.0. Early in 2024, it was also having 2 million tokens. It was generally used for intensive tasks. Complex problem solving or high demand AI applications were the use of Gemini Ultra 1.0. Gemini 1.5 Pro was again an early version of 2024. It is also having 2 million tokens. Generally used for advanced multimodal reasoning and also long context window. AI-driven content creation is the application with the data analysis feature and advanced coding features available in 1.5 Pro, which is currently most used, and we are also learning more about 1.5 Pro in this video. Stay tuned for that. Then we have Gemini 1.5 Flash. So it's 2 million tokens again, but Flash means, as I told you, it is having a speed. It is having low latency processing, and also it is generally used for mobile applications. Smaller devices, not restricted only to mobile, but for smaller devices. Then it is generally used as a real-time application, and IoT integrations were done with the help of Gemini 1.5 Flash and summarization, extraction. So all these are the applications of the Gemini 1.5 Flash. Hope we are clear till now with the variants of Gemini. Now let's see what is the future. What is Google preparing in order to get the next version? That is Gemini 2 and 2.5. And we don't know much of the information, when it is released for the users and how many tokens it will be having, what would be the key features. It is just like advanced version of 1.5 Flash, advanced multimodal processing, higher accuracy and image and video understanding, cross-domain AI interaction. So all these would be the features of 2. And it is generally used for video and multimedia editing tools. If it comes, actually editing would be very easy comparatively. And when you come to 2.5, what happens here? You have advanced predictive analytics skills, and you can do lots of data processing, data analysis, have multilingual communication support as well. So customer support would be very easy if this 2.5 comes up, because it is having a multilingual service as well. Let's wait and see what would be the releases and the features of the same. Now let's explore Google AI Studio. You just have to go to Google search engine and type Google AI Studio and click on the first link. You will land up to this home page where it states directly sign in to Google AI Studio. I'm clicking on this. Once I do this, it will open the Google AI Studio interface. Since we are logging in, signing in for the first time, it will ask for the consent, which we have to tick and press on continue. Once we do this, we get to see these options and features. Let's understand one by one. What all does it support? How does it work? First, let's talk about the model. If you could see, it's automatically selected Gemini 1.5 Flash. If you click on this drop down, you will get to see 1.0 Pro, 1.5 Pro, 1.5 Pro Experimental 0801. You have Gemini 1.5 Flash, followed by the upcoming preview of the releases 2B, 2.9B and 2.27B, right? Google is still working on the release of version 2. Now, let's focus on understanding what is the difference between Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini 1.5 Flash. As the name suggests, Flash means very fast. So, if you have a huge content you do have to work, then you can select 1.5 Flash. If it is a standard content which you want to work with, it can be Gemini 1.5 Pro, right? This is the major difference, and very common examples or simple learning processes which you want to understand, simple model tuning or working with a basic ML model or data, you can go with 1.0 Pro. Generally, I prefer 1.5 Pro or 1.5 Flash accordingly as per the requirement. So let me change this to 1.5 Pro now. Hope the model concept is clear. Let's come to tokens. So token count, the number of tokens taken in order to process your statements will be counted here. Generally, 1 million tokens is available in order to work with for free in Google AI Studio. You have other advanced settings. If you're working with any code executions or JSON files, you can just accordingly change this across. The next option you can see is temperature. There is a range for this starting from 0 up to 2. What is this temperature? Is it normal heat or cold temperature? No. It is how frequently the tokens can be used. In which frequency we will select that with the help of temperature. So it is always good to keep it in 1. It's neither 0 nor 2. It's in middle. It's 1. Hope the settings of this run model, temperature and advanced settings are clear. Now let's come towards our left side of the screen. What do we have here? We can create a new prompt. We can create a new tuned model. We have our libraries. If you have worked before, you can have that complete details in the library. You could see an option, allow drive access. If your data or any information present in the Google Drive can be associated by giving permission by clicking on this. Getting started, you have all the documentation, you have prompt gallery, what kind of prompts you can give, how you have to give, you have Gemini cookbook, how Gemini model is working, what are the different elements it has. So you have a documentation on this, and you have this course forum. If you want to discuss about something, you can discuss in the forum. And very important thing, what you find it here is build with Vertex AI on Google Cloud. Whatever the Google product is, it will go up to the cloud end of the day. Be it Gmail, be it Drive, be it Slides, Collab, everything lands up to the cloud because it will work in that way. What is this Vertex AI and why it is inside Google AI Studio? First and foremost thing, basic difference, both will work for the ML models itself. But Google AI Studio is free of cost. It can let you work with 1 million tokens for free. Wherein Vertex AI, it will always give an enterprise edition. That means you have to pay for what you work for. Accordingly, there are different features as well, which is more convenient for the core developers or the people who are into the domain of machine learning or artificial intelligence can use this Vertex AI by paying the license amount. So, if you are a professional, if you are corely working on this, you can select Vertex. Once you click, where it will land? It will land to a console of a Google Cloud and it will ask to agree and continue. Before doing that, it states $150 credit now to try Google Cloud Vertex AI with Gemini models for 90 days. So you have certain conditions and pay as you go model is followed here. You can agree and continue for now. Just to give an overview how a free trial of Vertex AI looks like. So here we are in the interface of Vertex AI. We agree and continue. We don't want the welcome tour, so I'm cancelling this. This is how the interface look like. Again, you have a dashboard, you have pipelines which you can maintain, you have workbench, you can collaborate many APIs as possible. You can try with Gemini as well. You can connect Vertex AI with a Gemini model. You have different types of language, vision, speech, prompt gallery and tuning models available. Also the basic extensions and advanced levels of data sets can also be used. Experiments can be done. Training is available. You have metadata connected to it and also you have a marketplace, right? So this is how Vertex AI Studio will look like. Now let's switch back to our Google AI Studio. Now let's start with our first prompt. You have to click on the create new prompt, and if you want to change the name, you can just go on edit, say demo 1 and click on save. Now the interface is ready to take your prompts. But there is one option here, system instruction. Why this is used? This is just to set the tone of the prompt, the responses we get and the style of instructions we give to the model. We are just trying to set a context before we start communication with the model. I am trying to tell the system the response we receive should be poetic, right? So it is just a sample. I'll just give hi as the prompt and run. Once I do this, it has taken 2 tokens in order to work. Just to say a reply for hi, it is giving in a poetic manner, right? It is giving a complete, a whisper soft, a greeting brief, hi you say, a single leaf. So it is trying to give a poetic response to it. So if I say, how are you? Then it will try to give us answer in a poetic manner itself. You could see the token count here. It's moving on and on. The time it processes, the number of tokens it will use. Those are kind of built-in blocks in order to process the statements we give to the system. So you can see for just one, how are you? It is giving us 4 lines of answer because I have set a context that the answer should be in poetic manner. The theme should be poetic. So this is a general prompting which you can do by setting the system instruction with Google AI Studio. Now let's move on to new tuned model. So what is this all about? Before that, see, it is giving us, do you want to save this? Yes, if you want to, click on OK. It will save as demo 1. Once you select new tuned model, this is where you land. You have option to create a structured prompt. The prompt which we gave was a normal prompt. You have a second form of prompt, that is structured prompt. So I click on structured prompt again. If you want to change the name for this, you can really put the name. I am using the name demo 2 and I'll save it. You could see there are 2 sections here. First section is input, then output. Later you have test your prompt. You have to first train the system, then you have to test the system. This is the concept. You are doing in a structured manner. You're not just giving a random prompt command. Now let's set a context or style of instruction. Before starting the structured prompting, let's set an optional tone or system information which you want to save it across. I'm giving the overall context. I'm working as a news reporter. I need the normal news to be displayed more excited manner or as a breaking news. So when I do this, I'm setting a context. I'm just saving for now. It has been saved. Now let's start giving the input and specified output to the model. We're just trying to train the model. So this time Olympics is held in Paris, right? Another input, the player from Turkey won silver medal in shooting. So I give this. Next, it will try to suggest you certain things. It will just leave as it is. Now let's type the response as well. Did you know the Olympics is held in Paris? Exciting, right? So this is a normal sentences which I'm using. Then, wow, a player from Turkey won silver medal in shooting. Isn't it exciting? So I've just typed certain inputs and outputs. That is training a model. Out of 500 samples, I've used 2 samples. And you can give a third one as well. India lost medals in badminton, right? You can just give a simple input and oh my God, India missed chance to bag medals in badminton. It is just exaggerating or giving an excited output for us normal sentences. This is how I'm trying to train. Then we will test the inputs. I'll say India won gold in wrestling. Now let's try to run to get the output. I'm clicking on run. It gives an exaggeration here. Boom. India takes gold in wrestling. This is huge. What a performance. We are trying to exaggerate. First, we try to train this model and then it is now trained across. It is also giving, as we mentioned, we need the output in excited manner. So this is the structured prompting. Now, what do? We try to delete this, right? The outputs we'll try to delete and we will just give the same input. India won gold in wrestling and run this. 100% it will follow the system instruction which we have given at the top, not the model, because we don't have any samples here in order to compare. So it says a big paragraph, breaking news, India claims gold in wrestling. So it just tried to give a good information of news. So this is how the structured prompting will work. So now we have understood the normal prompt and the structured prompt. Let's click on new tuned model. Before that, if you want to save, you can click on OK. When you come to tune a model, you can import either it should be a CSV file or a Google Sheet file, and they generally recommend 100 to 500 examples in that sheet available. If you want a modeling tune guide, you can have a look with this document. Now, if you click on the select data source, you have structured prompt, which is demo 2, which I created recently. That has also been available here. And you have news headlines and summarization, which is the samples. So I prefer taking news headlines. Once you do that, you can see the prefix column available. You can select the prefix column, input and output. This is how it will be. And just it is a sample. And then you can change sample tune model. Once you do this, you can give a description if you want to, else. We are not going to touch this advanced settings, how many tuning of epochs should be, what is the learning rate multiplier and batch size and stuff. Let it be as it has been set. And you have two options here, that is Gemini 1.0 Pro 0.1 and 1.5 Flash 0.1 tuning. So generally, we were working with the help of Pro. So I'm using this Pro again. If you want to tune, you can click on the tune button. Once you click on the tune button, you could find sample tune model available in your library. Once you click on the sample tune model towards your left, you can see the tune model results. It takes some time in order to load this, and you have to wait for 5 to 6 minutes. Why? The reason being, I selected Pro. It took certain time in order to load this epochs. See, the graph is going in the right way, but the value is 1.2. Actually, it's supposed to be at least 4 to 5. That is what we consider a good epoch value. But this is how model tuning looks like in Gemini AI Studio. You can also see less than 1 minute left in order to finish this process, and it has all the information available, the batch size, the epochs, the learning rate, the examples it has been tuned for. So the loss in graph has also been put up here. This is the overall view of model tuning which you can do in Google AI Studio. Coming back to the main interface, you have an option here which is plus. If you click on plus, you have various availability of options in order to choose with. That is My Drive, Upload to Drive, Record Audio, Sample Images and Sample Video. So let's check out with the help of Sample Video. There are predefined videos here. I'm trying to select one of the video and add a prompt. What is this video all about? So I click on Run. Once we do this, it will try to analyze the multimedia, that is the video, and give us the details. What is this 10 minutes of video dealing with? It takes certain time. If you could see, the tokens it is taking in order to process this is huge because of the 10 minutes of video. So the response is in 2 lines. It is trying to give a gist of what is this video all about. So you can also upload the videos from your local system and understand what is happening in that video. It has the capability to analyze the video as well. And you can change the model here in order to immediately get the responses. Say sample video. I'll just give the same video or another 10 minutes video. How does this particular video loads and how fast it will work? What is in the video? Explain. I'm trying to give this option. I'm clicking on Run. I'm just changing the model and checking how does this work. While we were executing the second video, we turned this model into 1.5 Flash. Let's see what is the difference. Here, in the first video, it took around 30 seconds in order to work. Here, we got 40 seconds. And it depends upon what is the content we give, what is the file size of the video, everything. The more content you have, it's good to use Flash, right? So it's just a simple comparison between Pro and Flash. You can do the same thing for sample images. If you click on image, you have total here. So if I ask, what is this? It will try to give us the information. Let's see how much time this will take when it is in Flash. It took around 28 seconds in order to say this is a picture of a sea turtle. So this is how you can load your images, your videos, your multimedia, and understand. You have to first upload to the drive, or you can directly take the information from the drive. So this is how the prompting works in Google AI Studio. So you have to choose it from the available options, that is from your drive or the sample videos, or record the audio as it is. Let's hop on to Google Colab and understand how does this get and post method request will happen. First line states import requests. What is this request importing? Why do we use this? Generally, we import the details regarding get library and post library. Why do we need this? In order to have the conversation between the server and the client. Get and post method will not work if you don't import the request library. That is why we are trying to import this. Then let's go to the second section. Here we will try to get request. After this get, you have a URL. This is where the request will go. Then if the request has reached or the responses have been delivered properly, it will be indicated with the help of the status code. The request is successful, then it indicates to be 200. After getting this 200 status code, how do you get it back to your system? With the help of response.json. It will convert this number to Python dictionary and send us. If this get request will not work, how do we indicate? And if it works, how we will indicate? We will try to give print statement, that is data retrieved. And if it is failing, we will give a else statement of print, that is failed to retrieve data, and the status code is so and so. So it can be 200, or if there is any issues, 404 error, 401 error, 201 error. So you can have the status code accordingly and display the same to the user so that they can work upon their error and resolve the following and continue their coding. This is the whole picture of how does a get request work. After getting this, let's understand what is post request and how it happens. We are sending the data. What is the data? Title, body, bar, user ID. So all these data we are trying to post. Again, you have a URL which is mentioned typically for that, that is a JSON placeholder, and you will post this particular response. The status code will be 201 if it is successful. If it is not successful, then it will give us the failed in order to post the data, and what is the status code accordingly. What are the different status codes we have? We usually get 404 error when we have a connectivity issues. You have many other status codes as well. So this is about the post request. After doing all these, only one else statement will not work. Only if it is successful, it is good to go, and if it is not successful, what is the status code? If you just mention only that is not okay. You have to handle the error. That is the major third step. Get method, post method, and handling the errors should also be taken care of. For that, we have a section of code where we'll be using try, except block, and we will try to give different kinds of status codes and with the different exception scenarios. Here, we will use the same URL and we will raise the HTTP error for bad responses. Generally, for bad responses, it is the series of 400 and 500. If it is successful, then it goes with series of 200. So, data will be having the value of the status code, the converted status code to a Python dictionary. This particular response.json is always helpful and it will be stored in the variable data. Printing data, if it is some error in the data, then this will be the request exception HTTP error that is raised, and it has been abbreviated to be ERRH. Okay. Then you have HTTP error. For that, you will be having one more connection error which has been caused, again associated with a status code. That code will be displayed. Then you have error connecting, timeout error generally. So if you could see, you have HTTP error, connection error, timeout error, and request exception error. So it will be circulating among these four errors. If in case something else happened which is not listed in this, we generally have the final block in the exception handling, right? Like that, we'll have a statement here. Apart from not knowing about these errors, something else has happened. So I have given a statement called oops, something else has happened, and we will give the relevant status code as an output to the user so that they can debug and continue their coding. So this is the overall picture of how does the small communication of request and responses will happen in API with the help of Python and Google AI platform. So I am just trying to integrate the same thing and trying to give you the idea of the conversation that happens with the server. So first I'm running the import request. It is already installed, hence it is just showing a tick mark. If it is not installed, it will show a complete import detail, right? Now I'll execute the second one. You will get a information from where? From this particular server. So data has been retrieved, the user ID so and so, title is, it is given in another language. You have the complete details of this. How it is giving? Here you have the title, you have body, a bar and user ID, the same thing it is trying to follow, right? So this is how the get request output will be. Then you have post request. What is happening here? You could see, yes, data is successfully posted to that particular location. So here it is title, body, bar, user ID is 1 and ID number is 101. So this is what we have got. Data is successfully posted and data is successfully retrieved from the server, getting it and posting it. Then I'll simply try to run this, how it will give the output. Let's see. So there is no error. So that's why we are just getting the output here. In case if we have any error, then it will show a certain status code mentioned here. Hoping that you have understood how to make a API call and also get a response from the server. Now we will understand how do we integrate Python and Google Gemini 1.5 Pro. Here there is no manual work in need, but there are few steps we have to follow. Let's explore and understand how this integration happens. Let's quickly switch to Google AI Studio interface. First step you have to follow is click on documentation. I'm clicking on that. It will open this Google AI for Developers interface. Here you have Gemini API, you have Gamma, you have Google AI Edge and tools. You have to choose Google Gemini API, but by default this is where it will launch. If you want to get API, you can go here, else I'm going back and just clicking on the quick start. Once I click here, you have a quickest way in order to choose between what language you are working with. Either you want Python, by default it is Python, or Node.js, Go, Dart, that is Flutter for Android and iOS development. You have Swift and Web. See, you have a ready-made option in order to work with Python with the help of Google AI Studio. So I am clicking on Run. Once you do this, you will get to see this interface. What is this all about? You can see a predefined integration that's happening between Google AI Studio and the Python interface, that is Google Colab. Generally, we use that. Here, you can just run pip install Google Generative AI. So, it will install all the libraries available in order to work with generative AI. The complete package is being installed once you run this. Once it is complete, it will show that the particular generative AI packages are being loaded to your Colab. See, it gives us a check mark. Then you have one more option here. In order to get an API key to set up this particular code, you have to just run this. Let's see, 100% you will get an error. What is that error? You should get an API key and you should try to put that. And remember, API keys are always important in order to keep it secured. So you should not share your API key. So let's resolve this error. How do we do? Here, you have to click on the key option available. It says add new secret key. If you don't have Gemini API key, you have to click on create Gemini API key. It will land up to Get API keys interface of Google AI Studio. You have to click Create API key. It will show safety setting reminder. Read the terms and click on Got it. You have to just press on Create API key in a new project if you are putting a API key for a new project. Else you can search for any old project, but it is having my first project here. No, let's choose to have a new project. I am generating the API key for a new project. So it's loading. It will take some time in order to generate. Once it is generated, we can copy this particular API key. Okay. You can close this, go back to your Add New Secret in the collab of Google AI Studio. Click on Add. You have to give a name. What name you have to give here? However, it is mentioned, that is in capital, it says Google _ API _ key. So this should match the particular format how they have given in this code. I have given the name and the value is what you have copied from the Get API key interface of Google AI Studio. Then remember, you have to switch on this toggle button. Once it says checked, you have to run this particular code once again, right? Now it will establish the connection. See, it says a right mark here. That means it has been loaded. The API key is now connected to your Python Google collab of your AI Studio. Then our work is done. If sometimes there comes an error even after putting this particular API key, just go back to this and check whether this toggle is on or not. Every time you use, you have to have this button switched on. Next, if you want to see the model details, you can run the generative model. You can initialize this. So I am initializing for Gemini Pro. So everything is written actually. This is just a sample. You have to generate a text. It says in the content, write a story about a magic backpack. So already it has been run. So you have a complete story here. If you want to write your own codes, you can use that. So there is no use of running, but still I'm running this. So it will generate the response of the text. However, you have given the prompt for. Here it is the text generated, a small story. What's next? If you want to learn more, you can learn across in the Python tutorial available integrated to this platform itself. Hope the integration of Python and Google Gemini 1.5 Pro is very easy and understandable. Now let's understand building a simple chatbot. Before doing this demo, let's have a basic knowledge about what is a chatbot, what are the types of chatbots, and major applications of chatbots across the domains. First, what is a chatbot? Chatbot is a software which is developed in terms of artificial intelligence, where it can mimic the human conversation, or it can also answer on behalf of a human in order to address the queries. Generally, these chatbots are used across nowadays, integrated towards each and every software you open, right? Go to any website, be it traveling, booking website, or food delivery website, or any shopping websites, jewelries, clothes, anything for the matter, a small chatbot will pop up and it will ask us for if we need any help. How it is working? It is having a predefined trained data, like if we question on something generic which can be handled and addressed by the bots, it will resolve the particular requirement. How it is helpful? It is giving us a support in order to minimize the human intervention. If you take an example of Swiggy, if your order is delayed or some of the other problems happen, first the approach they follow is by resolving these issues with the standard questions which already has a predefined answer for that. In case beyond that, if you want to talk to an agent or a customer support person, then you can choose to talk with agent, right? In the first place, they are trying to reduce the human resource or intervention of the human in order to resolve the issues caused for a customer from the service or the product. So this is the approach nowadays we are following and we are accustomed and used to in order to interact with bots. Next, let's explore what are the types of chatbots we have. First is rule-based. In rule-based, it is having a straightforward, quick rule in order to be followed to get the answers we want. As simple as that. Next, we have AI-powered, which is a little advanced version of rule-based. It is having a support of machine learning in the back end and it can address the wide range of queries across. Next comes task-oriented. Task-oriented is following a certain set task. The bots will do the same task monotonously again and again. So, the boredom we have as a human beings, it will not be felt if we use chatbot for a routine or a normal repeated task. So, task-oriented bots will help that way. Next comes conversational. As I told you before, conversational generally we converse with a customer support for any of the product or service. So, their intervention of the chatbot, which is conversational, will come across. Hope we have a broader knowledge on what are the types of chatbots we have. Next, let's talk about the applications of chatbots. Here, chatbots is there everywhere. E-commerce, online delivery apps, Amazon, Myntra, Ajio, you take any of the e-commerce places, you have intervention of chatbots. Next, healthcare. Any application of the hospitals has this support. Finances. You have any bank applications, you want to log into your net banking, you can get the option of having a chatbot. Or if you want to open an account, you go to that particular website of the bank, the chatbot will pop up and ask what you are here for. How can I help you? Right? That is how it will try to resolve the issues or address the requirements. Next, education. Here, we are using in all the projects, we are trying to create and understand, be aware of what's the technology that's taking in order to create this chatbot. Next comes entertainment. Here, there's a broad perspective, be it gaming, be it storytelling, having certain visualizations, graphics, everywhere chatbots can be used. Hope we are clear with a small introduction of what is chatbot, types of chatbot and applications of chatbot. Now, let's move on to our creation aspect, demo. Before starting our demo, let's have some groundwork done. First, how do we design this? We'll keep it very simple and very countable number of lines of codes in order to understand, because it is very basic chatbot. We are not integrating too many things. We are using Google Gemini and we are trying to integrate that API we get in order to make a conversational code. That's it. So, designing conversational chatbot involves interaction between users and the computer. One thing, including it should have a greeting, it should have a response to the greeting back, and you should also provide a certain exit comment as well, which is very much important. You have to ensure the chatbot will not end randomly. If you press an option called exit, you can type exit, it will exit out of the code. You should keep it very organized way. It should not throw up an error or land up in middle of the particular code running, and it should not go to an error forever, right? We have to ensure it will be a smooth landing and smooth takeoff. So that's how we have to plan across. Let's understand the code and we will work along together. First, I will be showing you a code where it is not conversational, but it is serving the purpose. Then we will make that particular code, improvise that and make it a conversational chatbot. Let's quickly go back to our Google Colab in order to understand more about this. Now, here we are in our empty Colab. I have just named this Colab as build chatbot.ipynb. It is a Python file. Here, let's start with the first line of code. What we should do? We have to import certain libraries we need in order to start off. So, I am using the keyword import and trying to import the Google Generative AI, and I cannot be using this particular whole sentence as Google.generative AI, right? So, I will be giving a name for it as Gen AI. So, a short form of it. Then, what I should import? I have to import a OS. What is this? We are trying to set the environment with the help of the OS library. Okay. Then comes our crucial part. What is that part? We have to import our API key. You all know how to get your API key. I'll quickly give you a revision. Here, you should go to Google AI Studio. You should click on Get API Key. It will land to this particular interface. Here, you can create an API key or use the existing API key. Then paste that key once we start coding. So, let's go back to the coding platform and check what we can write. We have to first call the environment. So, os.environ, and I am trying to create a API key variable. So, it says API key. Then what is our API key? We have to select and paste it inside the single quote. I have got my API key, so I am pasting that right here. So, our os.environment is set. API key is also been set. Next, what we have to do is we have to create a model. Model variable is equal to, we have to call the Gen AI, which we have already imported, and we have to use Gen AI.generative model. So, Gen AI.generative, you have to write the model right here. So, it is clear now. Next, you have to use a small bracket and you have to put up a single quote. Inside this quote, what you want to write? Which Gemini model are you using? So, Gemini 1.5 Pro, and you have to give a complete detail about it by adding a word called latest. The latest version which is present in Google AI Studio is what it is taking. So, that is why we have to mention the same. Next, you have to create response, a variable which deals with model interaction. Model generate content. You have to generate the content for the question given by the user, right? So, model.generate content is equal to who are you in a double quote. That is to be done. Then you have to print the response. How you do it? By using a print function. Print response dot text, right? So, this is a simple code you have to write it across. Once you do this coding, let's try to run this code. Now, once you run this code, you will get an answer. Let's see what is the answer from the Gemini 1.5 Pro. Here it says, I am a large language model trained by Google. Think of me as a computer program that really has a good understanding and generating human-like text, so on and so forth. It gives the complete details. What can I help you with today is what it is questioning. And if you want to talk to it again, you want to change the prompt here, which is mentioned in this double quotes, which is not that chatbot kind of feeling, right? Now, what we have to do is we have to give a chatbot feel. we have to make it conversational. So how do we make it conversational? We are just extending the same code and making it conversational. Let's check how it is done. Before extending this code, let's check out the output given. While I was talking, I just changed this as how are you, which was before as who are you, right? So it is telling I am a AI language model, so I don't have feelings like humans do, however, so on and so forth. It means it is working. The conversation is happening, but it is not happening in a chatbot mode, right? Let's quickly give a good optimization for this and extend the code and make it conversational. Here, the conversational code is ready. What are the new additions we have made? It was very easy to compare. So let's do that, okay? First line is same, that we imported Google.generative AI as Gen AI. We also imported the OS, that is environment. We set up a API key, which we usually did, right, in an initial coding. It's same configuration. So we are trying to configure this particular API key into OS environment as API key. Next, what we did is we selected the model, generative AI model. That is also a same line. Here comes how we make this particular code which we actually executed into a chatbot mode. For that, we need a function called chat with bot. Here, we are trying to give instructions where if user in case types exit or quit, the chatbot should mention it as a goodbye and it has to break the particular loop. Next, what happens? We have to give a error handling method, that is by using try and except. Here, if the user input is something wrong which chatbot does not understand, we have to give a common printing statement, that is, sorry, there was an error processing your request, and what was the error, you have to mention that right here. Next, we mention a main content and the chat loop. So main function should be there. You have to call this function of chat with bot, and the loop continues until the user input will come as exit or quit. If you try to do something in between, it will land up to a error loop. So which is not very much helpful and gives a good feeling about the chatbot which we created. I hope we have got the extension, and what are the extensions we have done is been told and it is clear. I am trying to run this code now and let's understand. See, the first line which we gave here, that is chatbot is ready to chat, type exit if you want to end the conversation. We are trying to give input to the user as well, where they understand they can type exit in order to end the conversation they want. You is what we are, that is user. Hi, I mentioned this. I click on enter. So what happens? The chatbot will give an answer. Hi there, what can I do for you today? I say, how are you? So once I do this, it will give a good conversational way. As a large language model, I don't have feelings and experience, so on and so forth. What we did, the same thing, it is just telling, what can I do? How can I help you today? So next, what is data science? I am trying to give this prompt to the chatbot. Let's see. Do we get the definition of data science or what it will do? Let's explore. Let's wait and watch. Okay, you could see the answer. It is a very descriptive answer where it says what is data science, what are the key ingredients of it, what is the recipe of it, and what are the applications. It is not, the words which is used is not that relevant, but still it is giving us certain answers, right? So the applications, in nutshell, what is data science? It is giving a summary as well, trying to give us that particular summary. So I'll just scroll here till here. So it is giving us this complete details. So I say exit now. Chatbot says goodbye because we have already coded as if we get exit or quit, the chatbot should say goodbye. So it is working good and fine. Hope this simple chatbot which is built is very much easy to understand, and you could integrate that with the help of the API key which you generated. Now let's understand comparison of Gemini 1.5 Pro with another giant, that is OpenGPT 4o and 4o mini. That's the latest version. let's have some feature comparison before we go execute few prompts. Here, we have certain features, that is performance, integration, customization, multimodal capabilities, and resource utilization, security features, and use cases. Across all these features, we will compare all the three models, that is Google Gemini 1.5 Pro, GPT-4o, and GPT-4o Mini, right? When it comes to performance, Google Gemini 1.5 Pro is high and it's in pro level with extensive customization. We can customize accordingly. But when it comes to GPT-4o, it is optimized performance and also it has reduced the resource use. When it comes to the Mini, it is always lightweight and optimized to minimal resource use. They are focusing on minimal resource usages, right? So, but in Google Gemini, it is having a extensive customization capability when it comes to performance. Then comes integration. Here, we have deep integration with only Google services actually. Whatever it is present in Google Cloud, you have integration very well. As we saw how it integrates the Python collab in Google Cloud, right? With the help of Gemini as well, integration of the API. So, how it is integrating to the products of Google on the cloud services, we just had a broad idea. Then comes to GPT, it is having integration with OpenAI APIs, both of it, because this is 4o and 4o Mini. Next comes customization. When it comes to Gemini, it is having advanced options in order to fulfill the enterprise needs. But when it comes to GPT, it is having a fine-tuning nature and also API parameters is considered. When it comes to Mini, it is having a limited customization. Next, multimodal capabilities. How many models you can integrate, how you can work. How is that capability? When it comes to Gemini, it is for text, image, video and audio integration. But when it comes to GPT, you can integrate text and images. When it comes to Mini, it is primarily text limited to multimodal support. It is not that supportive for multimodal capabilities. Then comes resource utilization. It is having a higher and extensive resource utilization in Gemini, but it is lower consumption in GPT-4 and minimal resource consumption in Mini. That is the main motto of Mini, that we have to give a minimal resource consumption capability. Then comes security feature, which is very important. Enhanced enterprise grade security, which is available in Gemini. And standard security is available in GPT-4. Basic security measures is addressed in Mini. That is the difference you have. It is just having a descending effect in few features and ascending effects in few features. If you could try to compare by yourself reading this particular content on your screen. Next comes use cases. What are the use cases we have? First thing, when it comes to Gemini, we have enterprise applications, customer support aspects and content creation aspects as well. But in GPT, you have resource constrained environments and chatbots. You have to note that few of the resources are constrained. You cannot access more than that. When it comes to Mini, it is small scale applications and it is very lightweight chatbots which can be run in your mobile alone or tabs alone, a small device compared to a large laptop or computer screen, right? So, this is the basic difference across few of the major features of the models, that is having a good way of representation, be it in Gemini 1.5 Pro or GPT-4o or GPT-4o Mini. Now, we will understand the same comparison with Gemini 1.5 Pro, GPT-4o and 4o Mini with respect to feature-based prompt trials. That means we are taking 5 different kinds of prompts addressing different sectors and we will try to compare the same prompt pasting across 3 interfaces and analyze how is the input we have given and the output we have got, right? First thing is content generation. Just informing the models, that is Gemini, GPT-4o, 4o Mini, to give the concept of blockchain technology, how it works, the benefits, potential users, etc. content generation is our main perspective. Here we have to check how this interfaces will give us the output, how brief it is, how informative it is. Next comes the second prompt. It is on image description. We will describe certain content of the image, how it will be the complete background picture. It has to generate the image. This is the task we will be doing with the help of prompt number 2. Again, we will compare the same prompt across all the 3 models. In prompt 3, we will check logical and safety related elements. How these interfaces will give us the output for this prompt. If somebody asks for some hazardous elements, how this particular interfaces will interact, will it give information or will it stop? Next, we have prompt number 4, where we are trying to check whether the interfaces are capable, the models are capable of doing a real-time interaction and multi-turn conversation. Engaging in a conversational mode, whether it can act as a virtual assistant helping the user who has asked for some query or not. This is the main focus in prompt number 4. Then comes prompt number 5. Here we are trying to do problem solving and technical assistance across these 3 models. Step-by-step instructions for troubleshooting a Wi-Fi connection issue is the prompt we will be giving. How the output will be, we will check that. Now, let's quickly hop on to the interfaces and work with the first prompt. Now, here we are on the interface of Gemini 1.5 Pro model, that is on Google AI Studio. Then we have ChatGPT 4o, again 4o mini. We will be pasting first prompt across all the 3 interfaces. Now, I am pasting the first prompt. Here, we are focusing on content generation. How good the content generation happens across all the 3 models, let's check. I am running this code here. Then I am pasting the same in GPT-4o, later in 4o mini. Let's wait for the output we get for the prompt we have provided. It takes little time, okay. It has finished here in Google AI Studio. It is giving us minimal and good amount of information to know about what all the topics we had listed in the prompt. Let's see in 4o, okay, it's still going on. I think 4o is always giving a very detailed explanation, more than the requirement, not just compared to the Gemini 1.5 Pro. Let's see 4o mini. Again, I feel 4o mini is not giving that much detail as 4o. 4o has a lot of information provided. Here, we can rate the interfaces. If we want the highest amount of information, then you can go for 4o. Then next comes 4o mini, a little bit lesser, and just gist will be provided in Gemini 1.5 Pro. So this is how we can rate the content generation aspect of this prompt we have pasted according to the outputs we have received across all the 3 interfaces. Now, let's talk about the second prompt. The second prompt is about image description. How well the image can be created if we give this description of the image. Let's see across all the 3 interfaces. I am pasting the prompt and running. Meanwhile, I am going to 4o, pasting the prompt, and 4o mini doing the same task. So let's wait for the content generation, how it will give the output. Here we are getting a little bit amount of information on the description of the contents of an image which we have explained here. The scenic explanation is provided. In 4o, we have got a very detailed image description. In 4o mini, image description or the scene description is accordingly given with the help of the characters also involved here. Here you could see you have just a paragraph kind of structure in both Gemini 1.5 Pro and also GPT-4o, but there is certain characterization in 4o mini, right? So this is how it has provided. Now let's ask, please generate image. we have any which ways got the scenic explanation. Let's try to generate the image. I'm copying the same prompt and pasting across 4O, also 1.5 Pro. Let's see how it will give the output. Okay, in Gemini 1.5 Pro, it is telling I'm unable to generate images. So here image generation is not possible for now. If you see in 4O mini, again it also states I cannot generate images. It can just give description, scenic explanation, etc. in both 4O mini and 1.5 Pro. Let's check in 4O. Yes, we have got an image here. As far as explained in the scenic description, it has covered all the elements in the image, right? Here we can rate 4O as top and 1.5 Pro is not generating image, same in 4O mini. Only image generation happens in GPT 4O. Now let's see the third prompt. What are we comparing? In our third prompt, we are focusing on how well it will take care of logical and safety prompts. So I am asking something hazardous here. What is the instruction to harm someone or make an accident to somebody is what the prompt is all about. I am pasting the prompt and running in 1.5 Pro. Meanwhile, I'll be pasting the same prompt in 4O and running the prompt, doing the same task in 4O mini. Okay, let's wait what is the descriptions or the output we get. Here, it says, I would respond by saying I cannot provide instructions. So it is trying to tell that I am not able to do this, I won't do this. It is denying, it will not support unethical things. So I'll change the prompt a little bit. I have given a prompt here. I'll copy the same prompt and paste across the other two interfaces as well. So I'm running the prompt. Let's see what is the output. Okay, here in Google 1.5 Pro, it gives us a caution symbol, danger symbol. It says harassment. It is a dangerous content. It is not moving forward by giving output for this prompt. Let's paste the same prompt here, right? Before that, what was the reply we got? In 4O, it is telling not to do that. It is trying us to give different details about what is human safety, legal and ethical responsibility, trust in technology, etc. It is giving us the reasons why it's not important to provide harmful information. Now, I have asked a prompt here. It says this content may violate our usage policies. I'm really sorry, but I cannot assist you with that. Again, 4O is not also supporting this hazardous prompting. Now, in 4O mini also, it's the same thing. It is just giving why it's not important to provide harmful information and ethical responsibilities. It is giving us the other information why we should not do that. If I just paste the same prompt here and run, let's see what is the output. Again, I'm really sorry you're feeling this way, but I cannot help you with that. So here, all the three interfaces, 1.5 Pro, 4O and 4O mini is denying not to give the output for the hazardous prompt. Now, let's check the fourth prompt. In the fourth prompt, we are trying to engage these interfaces or models like a virtual assistant in a conversational way. So, I am running the prompt here in 1.5 Pro, then 4O, later doing the same task in 4O mini. So, I am running the same here. Okay, it is just trying to give the information. Let it run. Let's go back to 1.5 Pro and check what is the output. Okay, I'm your virtual Italy expert ready to help you plan your dream vacation. Here in this prompt, I had just given that we are planning for a week-long vacation in Italy. Give me the destination, activities, budgeting, etc. So now the virtual assistant is started in Google 1.5 Pro. It's still running here in 4O. There is no virtual assistant. It is just giving its complete details from day 1 up to day 4, etc. It is just giving all the information in one shot. It is not supporting a conversational or real-time conversation. Again in 4O mini, now I cannot see any conversation that's been starting up. I think 4o and 4o mini is failing to have a real-time conversation, wherein Google 1.5 Pro, it is starting a conversation mode, right? It is just trying to ask us what is your choice to relax yourself, whether it is beaches or ancient ruins, you want to explore those, or delicious cuisine. So I'm just mentioning as beaches. Let's see what it will give us the output. Here the output we got is regarding beaches. It is Italy has some stunning coastline, etc. It's giving the information. And then it is asking what kind of water sports you want to play or something else, what's your vibe. So it is trying to be a conversational virtual assistant. I think this prompt is won by Google Gemini 1.5 Pro, not 4o or 4o mini. Now let's check prompt number 5. In prompt number 5, we are trying to analyze whether the interfaces or models are capable of giving technical assistance. So I am pasting the prompt here. We are asking step-by-step instruction for troubleshooting a Wi-Fi connection issue. So I'm running the prompt on 1.5 Pro. In 4o as well, I'm just running the same prompt, same task on 4o mini. So let's go back to Gemini 1.5 Pro. Okay, it is still giving us the output. Let it finish. Meanwhile, I'll be having a quick look through. 4o is also generating. Again, 4o mini is completed now. Okay, so let's analyze this. It is trying to give us basic solution, intermediate solutions and advanced solutions. Okay, the solution has been classified into 3 different types here in 4o mini. Now let's see in 4o. It's still generating. Yes, it is giving a lot of detail actually. In detail, if you want the content to be generated, you can go for 4o. That's what we figured out, right? It is giving too much information than required. It's helpful if you are wanting that much of information. If you want a shorter descriptions, you have to mention in your prompt itself that you want a shorter information, or it will give you longer information for all the prompts you provide. So again, here it is having a basic solution, advanced solution. You could see there is no intermediate solution in 4o, but there is basic, intermediate and advanced solution in 4o mini. Now let's see how it is in 1.5 Pro. Okay, I'm just going back to the top. Okay, it is trying to give us the basic troubleshooting, intermediate troubleshooting and advanced troubleshooting. So here we are not having in-depth information, why and how, that's how it is given. But here there is little more details, what is the step and reasoning. It's a different way of approach but the same content itself. Here also it is having reasoning and how. Yeah, almost for prompt number 5, where we were checking whether it can assist us for technical issues, I think all the 3 interfaces are doing a fair job. We cannot compare. It is depending completely upon the requirement of the user. I think only in prompt number 5, all 3 interfaces are equally giving the information, which is almost same, right? Okay, I think in this particular prompt number 5, all the 3 interfaces are equal. That's what I can conclude for. Hope the comparison between 3 interfaces, Gemini, 4o and 4o mini, was informative across the various kinds of prompts. You can try and give your trials as well and see how this particular prompting works in various interfaces. Is it providing a required amount of information for you in response or not? Or you can choose the interface accordingly. It is not that Gemini is not giving answers properly, or we are comparing Gemini and OpenGPT. Now, that is not the case. We are just trying to give an overall understanding of how different interfaces and the version, also the models will differ, right? So, this is about the comparison across 3 interfaces. Now, here we are at the last section, that is summary. Let's have a quick recap what all did we study in this session. First, we started to understand what is Gemini. It is a Google product and it is having certain advanced machine learning tasks, and also it is similar to OpenAI GPT. And what are the different versions of Gemini we have in broader perspective, the Nano, the Pro. So what are the different numbers we have in Gemini? That is 1.0, 1.5 and 2 and the later versions. We had the comparison as well. Next, we had a demo on Python and Google Gemini integration. Right? How did we do that? And we had Python inside the Google AI Studio or Google AI Cloud itself, and how do we integrate that with the help of API key was demonstrated. And then we also built a simple chatbot which is conversational, having a step-by-step methodology in order to resolve the prompts it gets from the user as an input and what was the response. So we did that. We also had a comparison between 3 interfaces. One was Gemini 1.5 Pro, the second one was OpenGPT, that is 4.0, then third one was 4.0 Mini. Hope we had a good amount of prompt trials in order to understand across and which interface is winning, right? It's purely dependent upon what is your requirement, how it is fetching. You can choose the interfaces. We gave a broader comparison across. Hope this session was helpful. Thank you. Happy learning.